Hey y'all, it's Lindsey. I am coming to you today live because I wanted to share a quick recipe review video with you and yeah, just kind of chat about it for a few minutes. Hopefully keep this less than 10 minutes on my part. If you are new here, I am Lindsey. I am a homeschooling mom. My husband and I both eat a low carb way of eating, usually following more of a ketovore-ish way of eating where we emphasize protein over all other things. And we have our 3 children who they do eat the same things that we eat, and they also eat carbs and things like that as well because they are growing children and I don't want to give them weird food mental issues. So anyway, if you're on here with me, please feel free to say hello. Hello, Amy Cat. I am glad you are here today. Okay, so if you are unfamiliar with me, that's sort of a quick rundown of who I am. I have loads of videos here on the YouTube and a lot of recipe videos, my own recipes, what I eat in a day videos. Occasionally I will toss up a grocery haul or something to that effect, but those have been fewer and farther between because it's just not been where my brain has been. But where my brain has been is with a lot of baking. And for my family, I've been doing lots of baking for, it's the holiday season. I feel very in the mood to bake the things. I've made some cheesecakes. I made my girls some from scratch cinnamon rolls that are, like full of all just like the flour and the sugar and all the things, right? But I feel good about them because they're all, like scratch made. I do enjoy being here in my kitchen. I do enjoy cooking and baking and those kinds of things. So, and I also enjoy developing recipes whenever I get a bee in my bonnet about some sort of an idea. So all of that to say, I was perusing the Maria Emmerich website and she shared a crustless pecan pie recipe. I don't know if that's going to be backwards for y'all. It might be. And I was pumped about this. Number one, if you've been here for any length of time, you have heard me say the words pecans and pepper jack cheese often, especially on What I Eat in a Day videos, which I have also mentioned that they can kind of get me into trouble because they are so addictive to me. I love pecans. I can go through pounds of them in no time flat. They are a trigger food for me, but I feel like I've gotten my obsession with them under control, especially in the past 3 to 4 months. So anyway, she posted this recipe on November 1st. I will attempt to go back after I'm done live streaming this and add the actual recipe link into the description bar below this video if you want to go and check it out for yourself directly. This is in no way or shape or form my recipe at all. I just wanted to tell you my experience with this pecan pie crustless version. It made me excited to have a crustless version of pecan pie because that eliminates an entire group of steps and an entire section of time for baking a crust, or if you're doing like a freezer crust, doing it that way. And I love pecans. I absolutely love pecans. So I was pumped about this. I immediately dove in head first, started reading the recipe, followed it to the exact T. Now in this recipe, she gives you the option of using almond milk or heavy cream as your liquid in this recipe, and the or heavy cream is parenthetical. It's not the first choice I would assume for her. So I went ahead and stuck with unsweetened almond milk. I followed the recipe literally to the T. 100% of my ingredients were all room temperature. Like for my eggs, they were not overly cold, overly warm. They were room temperature. I let the syrup portion of it cool completely in the fridge, just like her instructions say. I literally followed this recipe to the T, and this has been in my fridge now for 4 days. And knowing how much I love pecans and I love sweet things, it's confusing as to why there is like a part of a slice removed from this pecan pie. I have to say that given the expense of pecans, they're not the cheapest nut on the market right now. And given the expense of sweeteners and depending on the kind of egg you use, it can be an expensive egg or an inexpensive egg, but based on the cost of ingredients for this pecan pie, it did not deliver. This, ooh, one of the little bits fell down. Oh well, I'll get that later. It did not deliver. It was lacking in taste, lacking in flavor. I added the exact ingredients in the exact amounts she had mentioned. She did not have any salt in the recipe, but she also did not say use unsalted butter, so I used salted butter, and this thing just lacks flavor entirely. I'm gonna have to figure out how to salvage this at this point, whether it is to make some kind of like a salted caramel drizzle to put on top of it or what. The custardy part with the eggs and the almond milk, no bueno. No bueno. And it doesn't matter if this pie is warm out of the oven or cold from the fridge, it just does not cut the mustard for me. Amy, you were so sad about it. You would have to substitute walnuts. There needs to be a lot of tweaking on this recipe for it to have the kind of flavor I expect from a pecan pie, or if you're using walnuts. I feel like she's missing at least a quarter, if not a half teaspoon of salt in this recipe. I read some of the various reviews on it and everybody was excited about it. So I don't know. This particular one was a total flop for me. I'm gonna have to, like I said, sort out how to salvage it. Maria Emmerich in her notes section suggested that you eat it on top of her vanilla bean ice cream. Maybe that helps. Oh no, it wasn't her notes. It was actually in the instructions, I suppose. But it was just one of those things. It just did not deliver for the cost it took to make this particular recipe of hers. And I feel bad saying those things because I know she has worked so diligently in the keto community for well over a decade. I mean, possibly 2 decades at this point. I would have to go back in her archives to see when the first recipe was that she posted. But it's just one of those things where PSMF Wonder Bread is amazing and we love that now. And all the variations people come up with that bread, you know, doing it more savory, doing it more sweet, whatever the case may be. That is such a staple recipe in my kitchen now, and I am so excited about that every time I make it. There have been other recipes I have made of hers that have turned out wonderfully. I've not had any issues with them, but this one particular one was a flop. I will also say, whenever I was talking to my husband about it, he suggested that let me see here, please hold. Okay, he suggested that I should have toasted my pecans first. Maria does not mention toasting raw pecans in this at all. All she has is the volume of pecans for the actual recipe. Not toasted, no addition, no nothing. So toasting the pecans first would have helped deepen the flavor much. Also having salt. Salt is one of those ingredients that you just can't do without. Nothing replaces salt in the palate at all. I have a book called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. And the chapter on salt is so eye-opening and so good. And on the keto diet or on a ketovore diet or a low carb diet, we are often told about, we are often hearing about how important getting enough salt and enough electrolytes really is for the diet. So the fact that there is no salt added to this recipe just kind of, I don't know, maybe it was a complete misstep. Maybe it was an error out of, like speed to get the recipe out there. I don't know what it was, but this one is a complete flop for me without some major tweaks. And I just wanted to make sure to give y'all my review on that one, give you a heads up if you were wanting to try it. Like Amy here in the live, she was talking about wanting to try it. I want to be kind because I do know how much work Maria puts into her recipes and into sharing and growing the community and being such a positive person in the keto universe. And I don't want to tear anybody down, but this one definitely was not a hit for me for those reasons. So that is all I have to share with you today. I really appreciate you coming to my video. If you were here live, thank you so much for your time in the middle of your day. If you are watching my replay, I appreciate you doing that as well. If you have not yet subscribed and just need one little nudge of encouragement to do so, I would love for you to subscribe. But if you don't want to, please don't. I don't ever want to force anyone to do anything they don't want to do. Also, if you want to give me a thumbs up, I would appreciate that. If you like review videos of that sort, I don't do a ton of them. I would really like to be more into, you know, sharing some of these things as I try them, but the chaos of my life sometimes does not allow for that. But if you also don't like hearing my recipe reviews, give me a thumbs down. Either way, I would just like to hear your opinion. Have you tried this particular crustless pecan pie from Maria Emmerich's website? I would love to know in the comments on the replay, and what was your experience with it? All right, everybody, I appreciate you, and I hope to see you in my next video.